Welcome. Today we will have a look at the most magnificent man-made structures in history, the Egyptian pyramids. Despite being made around 5,000 years ago, they are still standing proud with little damage. They were built during a time when Egypt was one of the richest and most powerful civilizations in the world, and they provide a good glimpse into the country's glorious past. In ancient Egypt, kings, or pharaohs, held a unique position. They were considered to be half humans and half gods, mediating between earth and the divine. They were still venerated even after death, so it's no surprise that these massive structures were created just to keep their dead bodies. Ancient Egyptians, in fact, believed that when the king died, part of his spirit remained with his body, and the rest ascended to heaven and joined the gods. To properly care for his spirit, the corpse was mummified, and everything the king would need in the afterlife was buried with him, including gold vessels, delicious food, and fancy furniture. To help their souls ascend to heaven, the pyramids were designed with smooth, angled sides, which symbolized the rays of the sun. The most celebrated pyramids are of course the Great Pyramids of Giza, in Egypt. They are called Khufu, Khafre and Menkaure, and they correspond to the kings for whom they were built. These massive monuments have amazed people for thousands of years with their overwhelming mass and seemingly impossible perfection. Their exacting orientation and mind-boggling construction has elicited many theories about their origins, including suggestions that they had extraterrestrial impetus. The oldest and largest of the three is Khufu, also known as the Great Pyramid, and it is the only surviving structure out of the famed Seven Wonders of the ancient world. It is perhaps the most colossal single building ever erected on the planet. The pyramid contains an estimated 2,300,000 blocks, some of which are upwards of 50 tons. It used to be covered with white polished limestone, which would have given the pyramid a smooth surface and been very bright and reflective. At the very top of the pyramid would have sat a capstone, known as a pyramidion, that may have been covered in gold. The pyramid shone at night like a bright star on Earth, which would have been visible from space. The interior chambers and passageways of Khufu's pyramid are unique and include a number of enigmatic features. When entering the pyramid, one has to crawl up a cramped ascending chamber that opens suddenly into a stunning space known as the Grand Gallery. This passage leads up to the king's chamber, where the king's sarcophagus sits empty at the exact central axis of the pyramid. The complex contains countless rooms and passageways, many of which lead to false doors or branch off to additional clusters of tunnels. Many experts believe that the pyramid has encoded information about the form and function of the universe. The length, base and diameter, all represent the geometric measurements of planet Earth. Also, the location is not insignificant. They weren't just randomly plonked in the sands of Egypt. They have quite telling coordinates. This is the exact geographic coordinates for the Great Pyramid itself. And this is the speed of light, which, by the way, was discovered in the 1950s, so the Egyptians couldn't have known about it. If that wasn't enough, the three buildings align almost perfectly with the stars in Orion's belt. Even with today's cutting-edge scientific technology, it would not be possible to build anything with such precision and accuracy. In fact, the question of how the pyramids were built has not received a wholly satisfactory answer. The most plausible one is that the Egyptians employed a sloping and encircling embankment of brick, earth, and sand, which was increased in height and in length as the pyramid rose. Stone blocks were hauled up the ramp by means of sledges, rollers, and levers. But many people swear that humans could not have done this by themselves, and the Egyptians would have needed help from outside sources. So, were aliens involved? Many scholars and academics will scoff at the notion, but this remains a topic of some consternation and controversy. We can't talk about the pyramids without mentioning the Great Sphinx. Carved out of limestone, the Sphinx has the facial features of a man but the body of a recumbent lion. It was a guardian statue that would come to be worshipped itself. It is oriented from west to east, towards the rising sun, and it is just as mysterious as the pyramids. Regardless of their origins, the pyramids remain some of the most fascinating buildings on the planet, and they serve as a reminder that the past can hold secrets and wonders that still capture our imagination today. But what do you think? Are these tombs the work of thousands of human hands, or are they artifacts of aliens? Write your theory in the comments, and subscribe to the channel.